Hey everybody, it's Tyler Austin from Midgard Strength and Conditioning. Thank you so much for watching. So I just want to share a video with you today that I think perfectly shows what these people think of you. That, people who decide to make a perfectly rational medical decision that other people disagree with. I want to show you what many of these people, or how many of these people think of you. If it's not blatantly obvious to you yet that these people don't give a single shit about your health or safety or anything like that, they only care about control and having you do as they wish, and being part of their cult, if you will. It's not about your health and safety. It's never been about that. It's only been about control and joining their team, if you will. So let's go ahead and just watch this video. This is Arthur Kaplan. He is apparently the director of medical ethics, which is an absolute joke of a title, particularly for this guy. You'll see why after you watch this video. But apparently he's the director of medical ethics. Again, what a joke. For some school of medicine in New York. So let's just go ahead and watch this. Now this was about like a 5-minute segment, the full-length video. I'm going to chop it up a little bit just to get to the, the meat and potatoes of the actual video, if you will, the main parts. It's just to make it a little bit shorter, but you can find the full segment, the full interview, if you will, on the internet. So let's just go ahead and just see, let's just see what this guy thinks of you.
Hey, John, thanks for having me. So look. First, we've got to get the ethical ground back on the side of people doing the right thing. Got to praise them, got to acknowledge that they're doing the right thing. When I hear people say our first value is autonomy and liberty, and I don't want to get vaxxed, and I don't want to do anything to help my neighbor or help people who are weak or vulnerable, one of the important things we can do is shift the moral ground. We've got to start praising people who do the right thing, not saying, well, there's a trade-off of values. Some people are going to help their neighbor orient toward the community, try and protect one another. And then there are going to be jerks who aren't going to do that. Let's get the equation straight. And people may be thinking, well, so what? What difference does it make where we put the moral emphasis? It makes a lot of difference. Shame, guilt, calling people out when they're not doing the right thing. I don't see moral equivalency if you're not doing the right thing by getting vaccinated, by trying to get tested when you can find the test, by trying to take precautions when you're around the weak and the vulnerable.
So right off the bat, this guy starts openly mocking people who believe that their personal freedoms, their personal right to make their own medical decisions takes precedence over some sort of made-up social contract, some contract that you have to society that apparently you signed without your knowledge. But, he's mocking people who believe that, their personal freedoms, their personal right to make their own medical decisions takes precedence over what other people think they should do. But on top of that, what evidence is there that says that supports that getting the vaccine protects anyone else other than you? Right, because it's blatantly obvious that the vaccine does not stop you from spreading COVID-19 of any of its variants. It's blatantly obvious that the unvaccinated and the vaccinated can be carriers. They carry just as much viral load, and they are capable of spreading the disease equally. The vaccinated spread the disease, spread COVID-19 just as easily as the unvaccinated can. So right off the bat, getting vaccinated and on that aspect does not protect anyone else because it doesn't stop you from spreading it. But on top of that, it doesn't stop you from getting it either. Cases have skyrocketed ever since the vaccine's been out. Cases have been going up. In fact, in many places, if not the majority of places, we're seeing higher case rates than we are even last winter, right before the vaccine was really even out, or at least in mass production. How does getting the vaccine help anyone else other than you? It's becoming even more obvious it doesn't even really help you, or it minimally does so at best, because it's, again, become blatantly obvious. Just look at the evidence that's out there. The vaccinated are both catching COVID, and they're also being hospitalized and even dying. And they're making up a fairly large percentage, and even in some places, the majority of both hospitalizations and death. Anyway, so let's move on with the video.
So that's preliminary. And then I'll just add quickly, I think you've got to then say we're going to make life easier for those who vaccinate and tougher for those who won't do it. More rewards, more freedom, more ability to go to restaurants, go to social events, go to athletic events. Why we continue to say, well, you vaccinate, you don't vaccinate, it's up to you if you want to come to this game. That isn't the right stance.
So this person believes that you should be mocked, shamed, and called out for making let's be honest, a perfectly rational personal medical decision. Yet this guy is supposedly a director of medical ethics for some sort of university in New York. This goes against every the very foundation of medical ethics. The very foundation of medical ethics, particularly bioethics, is that no patient should ever, under any circumstances, be forced, coerced, shamed, mocked into receiving a medical treatment. Never, ever. That goes against the very foundation of medical ethics. Yet this guy is saying that that's what exactly should happen. Again, for people who make a perfectly rational medical decision based on the available evidence. And yet this guy is a director of medical ethics and is proposing something that literally goes against the very foundation of medical ethics.
You're going to be fine here. It's the unvaccinated who are going to be hurt. So why should anyone who is boosted bother at this point to do anything that makes the unvaccinated more safe?
Well, look, I want us to act as a community. I want us to act as a team. When you're fighting a war, you need all hands on deck. I don't want to reject those who still haven't done the right thing. I'll condemn them. I'll shame them. I'll blame them. But I don't want to exclude them. They've got to come around. We can't win this war. We're going to be talking about COVID this time next year if we don't get more people to do the right thing. So we can't write them off. We can penalize them more. We can say, you're going to pay more on your hospital bill if you weren't vaccinated. You can't get life insurance or disability insurance at affordable rates if you aren't vaccinated. Those companies should not treat us as equals in terms of what the financial burdens are that disease imposes. So I can think of a number of ways in which we should say, here's the stick, get on board. At the same time, we do need everyone. It's a war. You got to have all your troops unified if we're ever going to win it.
And right here, we finally get to the heart of the issue. These people don't give a shit about your health, about your safety, whatever. They only care about your compliance. Right? This guy talks as this guy wants you to be coerced or forced into getting this vaccine. He doesn't care to try to get you to voluntarily get it via, evidence, logic, reason, or any of those such things. No. Get it, join our team, or else we'll try to make your life as miserable as possible. And look how he talks, or hear how he talks about your freedoms. We need to make life miserable. We need to make life harder for the unvaccinated. Who's this we, right? Who is this we that gets to dictate the freedoms and the life of other people, whether they get a treatment, a medical treatment that you agree with, right? Nobody has the right to dictate to any other individual what he can and cannot do. As long as he's not violating, that individual is not violating the life, liberty, or the property of others, he's free to do whatever the fuck he wants, regardless of what you think of him. Right, so this whole idea of, we need to make the life of the unvaccinated, harder, and make the life of the vaccinated easier. Again, who's this we? So here's the deal. This person is objectively a piece of shit. He believes in coercion and force to get his will over you. That's it. He doesn't care about your safety. He doesn't care about your health. He doesn't care about this perceived, societal need, if you will. Right? He wraps it up in a neat little box to sell it to you, but in reality, the only thing he cares about is your compliance and your willingness to give him the power that he perceives he has over you. That's it. He doesn't care about anything else. And the more you comply with what these people want you to do, the more perceived power you give these people, and the longer this goes on. This only ends when you want it to end. And that's it. The more you comply, the longer this goes on. Because the longer this goes on, the more power they gain, and the longer they have it. And that's it. Again, it only ends when you want it to end. Also, this person is in no way deserving of your respect, nor should you even attempt to reason with these people. These people are beyond reason. Again, these people hate you. They literally hate you. And in many cases, if you don't join their club, join their cult, if you will, they would want to see you dead. So don't try to reason these people. Don't be respectful of these people. Call these people for what they are. This guy is a piece of shit, and you should treat him as such, talk about him as such, and so forth. Don't try to reason with these people. Don't try to play nice. Playing nice is not going to change their mind. This person is a piece of shit, and this guy in particular, he's a joke to medical ethics. He goes against everything that he goes against the very foundation of medical ethics, and I'll call him out for what he is. He's a piece of human shit and nothing less. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, informative, and entertaining. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, or follow depending on where you're watching this. You can follow me on Instagram at Tyler_MidgardStrength, and I am also on Zion. My two community pages are Midgard Strength and Conditioning and Gungnir Strategic. You can scan their respective codes here or search for them on the community search page. If you like my strength and conditioning content, check out my podcast, the Classical Strength Podcast, available on all major podcast platforms. Finally, if you would like to become stronger and healthier than you've ever been in your life, consider hiring me as your coach. I offer the most effective and personalized online coaching in the industry. So if that's something that would interest you, visit my website, midgardstrength.com, or you can email me directly at tyler@midgardstrength.com. Thanks for watching.